Hi there, everybody. This is Ezra. I am the tech guy here at Boom by Cindy Joseph, and I am on the line to just make sure that the technology is working properly. There's a chat box below the Hangout video. Cindy, are you on the line with us too?
I am here. Hi, everybody.
Awesome. I just wanted to make sure you were there. I'm going to run through a few tech things just to make sure everyone knows how the technology works, and then we'll just get rocking and rolling. So there is a chat box below this video. If you have any any technical difficulties or anything comes up, I will be watching the page and here to answer any tech questions. And if you have questions for Cindy as this goes, please type them in the chat box and I will relay them to her so she can answer them. And you can ask a question at any time. I may not interrupt her, but I will try to get to it. And I'll just hang out here in the background and be available if you need me for technology reasons, Cindy.
Thank you so much, Ezra. I'm so happy you're here to keep things technically correct and working well. And I am absolutely thrilled that all of you are out there. It's like magical to me that you're actually listening to me live right this minute. I am so thrilled we're doing this. And as you know, this is a first time, so you are part of Boom Experiment. So, as you know, I'm here to talk about women and age and what the pro-age revolution is all about.
Hey, Cindy.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just had a great idea that I think you're going to really like.
Okay.
And that is that it would be awesome if everyone could post in the chat their name and where they're from. And then that way we've got a list and we can read out who's here. Like we've got Betsy from Los Angeles, Noelle from Canada, Charlene from Canada, Kay from Michigan.
Wow. It makes it so much more real. I'm not just here in a vacuum like that. You guys, you ladies are really out there. And if any of you are my age or older, do you remember Miss Nancy from Romper Room? And she held up the mirror and she'd say, "There's Lisa and Kathy and Sally." And what you just did reminded me of that. I love it.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just had fun and we're getting a bunch of posts in there. So.
Well, that's wonderful. Okay. So, you got me started. I am ready. I am ready. So the first topic is, how did we come to have this anti-ageist viewpoint? Well, when you look at women specifically in our society, our currency, our value is in youthful beauty. We are judged the most heavily in the area of looks, and then we are told that our looks will fade, disappear, and go away, starting at about age 30. So by the time you've hit 45, 50, and beyond, we are led to believe that our value goes down. And it's interesting because men are judged as well, but they're judged most heavily in the area of accomplishments. And you can only add to your accomplishments as life continues, so men actually gain value as they continue living. Hence, you see the young, valuable woman on the arm of the old, valuable guy. Now, the good news about that is it's all make-believe. We created that. We, the people of our society. So I'm saying, instead of complaining and whining about how it's been and how it is a little bit still now, let's take hold of our lives and create the society that we want to create. And it's a good idea to take a look at how we got here. It's just helpful. It's not something that we have to be victims of. So women were valued for childbearing, and we still are, because that's what we do. But that was our main value for many centuries. And so when we looked like we were in our childbearing years and we looked like we could do that well, that is what society and men wanted. And once we took hold of our lives and claimed the right to vote, and then claimed our position in the labor force, and fast forward all the way to today, we are free women. Nobody controls us except for ourselves. And our value has always been and will continue through to our last day. However, this concept that we're only valuable in our childbearing years, or at least if we look like we are, there's still a piece, like a residue of that, that's embedded deep in our psyche. And it's up to the women to release that and let it go. As long as we continue to believe that we are only valuable if we have this youthful beauty, nothing's going to change. But once we recognize our own beauty at every single age, then society will follow suit. Because if you think about it, what's really attractive? What really attracts our fellow human beings, men, women, or children? It's joy and pleasure and fun. That's what humans move towards. You see two people sitting on a bus, and one's cranky and miserable, and the other is pleasant and looks like they're enjoying themselves. Who are you going to sit next to? So innately, we really know this, and this is what we do. We just forget. So I'm here to remind us and remind you, and you're there to remind me that life is good and life is what we make it. And when we are feeling joyful and feeling gratitude and appreciation for our lives, we become attractive. So, let's look at the graph of life, the one that we were given from birth on. And some of you have heard me talk about this on my video blog, Saturdays with Cindy. The graph we've been given is the shape of a mountain. And we are told from a very young age that life goes uphill. Yahoo! I can't wait to be 8 years old. Oh, I can't wait to be 12 years old and 16 years old. And we work towards that grand crescendo of 21, where we have the freedom to go out and live our lives and do what we want. And we start doing that. And then we reach this imaginary peak called the prime of life. And then we are told it's downhill from there. Well, if you do a little bit of mathematical calculations and you live to be the average lifespan, and for a woman I think it's approximately 77 years old right now, we are over that prime of our life peak, a much larger percentage of our life than we are on the other side of it. So a lot of people think the prime of life is 30 years old. It's moving up a little bit, maybe let's say 45 max. So half of your life is going uphill and the other half is going down. And that's another thing that's 100% make-believe. That is a decision that each individual human makes. So let's take that mountain, let's take that peak, and let's flip it over into a V. And consider that the graph of life. And that you were born at the base of that V. And your life just keeps expanding and getting wider and fuller. And you become more and more and more as your life continues. Well, I think that's such good news. I'm crazy about it. And I love telling that to all the people I know younger than me, because we all want to have hope. We all want to have a sense of thrill and excitement that our life continues to improve and get better and more interesting as we continue living. And that we do. I know that I have more information. I have more I've developed my intelligence. I have more self-awareness. I have more compassion. Everything has gotten better and better and better. And I'm not going to let anybody convince me that getting older is getting worse. All right, so I hear that a whole bunch of you out there want to actually see me while I'm talking about this. So just get ready, because I wasn't prepared. And this is good, because this is going to affect the next subject I'm going to talk about. But I need Ezra's help to figure out how to get on screen. Could you turn the light on?
Okay. So the chat is just going absolutely crazy. By the way, we've had like literally 100 entries in here so far. People are really engaging, which is awesome. So what you do, Cindy, is you just where it says custom overlay, just click the off button.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Toolbox. There you go. You're live.
Hello. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I've got one computer here. Hello, everybody. And then one over here with my little list, because I really want to cover everything. And let me know if there's anything specific that you want me to talk about. And Ezra, you said 100 entries so far, yes?
There are many questions that I'm saving up till the end. I'll just at the end we'll do Q&A. But
okay,
what I want to let people know is if they currently do not see your video, they just have to wait another 30 seconds or a minute, and it will pop up.
Oh, good. Excellent. Yay for Ezra! All right, so I'm going to skip down to...
They're literally saying yay and celebrating. So
I love it. Fantastic. This is like a miracle to me. I'm totally blown away by this. All right. Now I forgot my topic. Okay, I'm talking about the graph of life. I'm talking about getting better. I want to talk about another kind of beautiful. So we have this idea that, especially for women, that the prime of our beauty is, let's say, between 16 and 25. You know, I'm picking kind of randomly. I'm going by an intuitive feeling, but we all know this. We all grew up with this. We felt it. We feel it. We've gone through it together. We've gone through it on our own in angst and loneliness. We look in the mirror and we say, that's not good enough. And that old adage, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, it still holds true. It's up to you to look in the mirror and find your beauty. So consider this, newborn baby. If you've never seen one in person, I'm sure you've seen them in movies. Pretty amazing, right? It's a beauty that is indescribable. It puts everyone in awe. 2 months go by, that beauty is gone, out the door. Now, does anybody say that little kid is over the hill? No, because we all fall in love with the next kind of beautiful. That chubby toddler, those rolls on the neck, that beautiful skin, that their bodies are almost rubbery feeling. They're just smooth and tight and delicious. You want to eat them up. That's the beauty of a toddler. And then we get to adolescence. That beauty is gone. You are over the hill again. But a new beauty sets in. And it's that adolescence, that there's still a little bit of the babiness, but then there's a little bit of the sinewy, gangly kind of getting close to being a teenager. You know, the new teeth come in and they're all kind of sticking out all over the place, and there's a little bit of awkwardness. If any of you have kids that age now, or grandkids, or neighbors, or friends, you can't stop staring at them. It's a kind of beauty that is unique to that stage of life. So you know what I'm getting at. So let's continue on. Let's go to the pubescent teenager. That's some kind of beautiful. And then you go to the young adult, a whole nother kind of beautiful. And then you take the woman that's just past 29. She's going into her 30s. And all of a sudden, there is a womanliness there that you couldn't quite detect when she was in her 20s. And then she gets to her 40s. Wow. I'm particularly fond of 40s. It's another kind of beautiful. 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And think about Georgie O'Keeffe, the photographs of her standing in her studio. And the photographer purposely takes her to the window and has the sunlight raking across her face. So you see every little detail of every single line. And we buy photographs of her and we frame them and we hang them on our walls because we are in awe of the beauty of her age at 78 years old. It's remarkable. Well, we recognize it in each other. We recognize it in all those pictures in National Geographic of those old, old people in China and Russia and all the places around the world. But what do we do when we look in the mirror? Oh no. Oh my God, gotta get rid of that. Oh, I have lines on my forehead. Oh no. Oh, I'm getting jowls. And the neck. I never thought anything bad about my grandmother. In fact, I used to really enjoy touching her skin because it was so different than mine. And I could kind of push it around and it would stay there. And I remember taking my dad's little flap here. I loved this little flap. We can love that about ourselves. And a lot of that is trying to look like we used to look, right? And then you see pictures of yourself when you were 12 or when you were 25 or when you were 45, and you're thinking, what was I thinking? I was amazing. So we keep looking back and thinking, oh, we were, acceptable, attractive, pretty, whatever, your particular unique kind of beauty was. And we didn't enjoy it. We didn't celebrate it at the time. And we just keep looking back instead of being here now and celebrating who and what we are now. There was a great scene in a movie with Rene Rousseau and Kevin Costner. And they were bragging about their scars. And the love scene began because they started pulling their clothes off and saying, well, look at this one, and look at this one, and this happened here, and this happened at this point in my life. And they were bragging about how they got their scars. And that's the way I like to think of silver hair and crow's feet, and they call them age spots, sunspots, liver spots, but they're basically real big freckles that you got because you were having a blast out there on the planet Earth and in Mother Nature. They're badges. They're medals that you earned, that I have earned throughout my life. And you can wear them as proudly as you would wear a Girl Scout merit badge or a military badge. It's something to show off. You know what I'm talking about? I think you do. All right, and anybody that doesn't agree with me, please ask questions and make your statements because I love it.
Do you want me to? We've got a lot of questions that have come in.
Okay, I'm going to stop, and I would like to hear some questions.
Okay, so if you have questions, now's the time to paste them. I've got a list here.
Okay.
The first one is, what made Cindy stop coloring her hair initially?
Oh, good question. Okay, I met a bunch of women who were my age and older than me, who were looking amazing, didn't wear a stitch of makeup, never changed the color of their hair if it was going silver or not. And they taught me how to live my life according to what pleasured me rather than according to what was dictated to me by society, going for success, um, living my life like a woman wants to live her life. And we don't all dare to. Okay, that's a long story, but to keep it short, I started talking about how I was getting happier, healthier, better, smarter, more skilled, more experienced, wiser as I was aging. And one day I realized, oh my God, I'm covering the very mark of my age. Basically being a big old hypocrite. Age is great, age is wonderful, die, die, die. So I threw the bottle away. And I was a little nervous. I was a little, how am I going to handle this? Am I really going to look like my grandmother? But I did it. I threw that bottle away and let my hair grow out. It took about a year. And the day, and I swear this is 100% true, I cut off the last bit of color from the ends. As you can see, the back of my hair is a little darker than the front. It's all natural. I was approached by a casting agent on the streets of New York and asked to model for a Dolce & Gabbana ad. Now, I was in photo studios all day, every day for 27 years, and nobody ever asked me to model. So here I am, too short, too fat, too old to be a model, and I was asked to model because I started celebrating my age and showing it off proudly. So it was kind of like Mother Earth, Mother Nature said, you go, girl, you just keep going in that direction. So that's how it happened. That's how it happened.
I stopped coloring my hair 2 years ago. I love it. Your hair is beautiful. You inspired me. That was one comment that came in. Another comment that came in from Shirley. She says, I'm the happiest now at 64. I never dreamed that I'd have so much love in my life at this age, from my husband on down to my youngest grandson.
Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it great? And the interesting part is, I love hearing from women of all ages, because there are 20-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 88-year-olds that are living life exactly like that. And I've noticed that
Cindy?
When you are celebrating your age, you know, over 50, say, it's easy to create. Hello, hello.
You would just cut out for a second, but you're back.
Ezra, are you there?
I am here. You had cut out for a second, but
okay, good. I was talking about committing. Okay, I was talking about committing reverse ageism, and everybody evolves at a different rate. Depends on our genetics, our environment, our family influences, etc. I've always considered myself a late bloomer. It took me a little bit longer to come around and realize a lot of things that friends of mine who were in their 20s, like, had it all figured out by the time they were 25, which always impresses me. They're my heroes too. So I think ageism, it's really important to actually pay attention to what ageism is. And it goes both directions. Definitely. But I'm interested in hearing more questions.
Okay, awesome. The next question is, well, she says, well, there's some funny ones, but I'll get those in a second. Kim says, hey Cindy, are you wearing color right now? Boomstick color? I love boomstick color.
Oh, I put some on earlier today, but I also think I'm a little flushed because I'm excited about doing this. And one thing I'm putting this up because I want you to see my face in different light. So there's a lamp over here. You get this kind of lighting. Lighting is really everything when it comes to visual. I can change the lighting and my face, the color, and everything is going to change. So it's dark where I am. I'm in California, and the sun went down. So this is all room light, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lights on in here. And I'm looking at the video screen myself, and it looks like my lips are darker in the screen than they actually are in person. But as you know, with Boomstick Color, you can put it on heavier or lighter, and depending upon what your own lip color is like, because it's sheer enough so your skin tone comes through and customizes it for you. So if you naturally have darker lips and you put on Boomstick Color, it's going to be a little bit darker. As if you have very, very pale lips, if your lips almost blend into the rest of your face, you will get the actual color of the Boomstick Color. So I'm glad that you love it. Thank you for saying that. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if much is left over. I think this is all of you. I think this is knowing that there's like over 200 of you out there listening to me. I'm just all flushed and excited.
Well, we've got some questions pouring in here. I'm going to hit you with one, which is from Blue. It says, if you could have one more conversation with your deceased mother or grandmother, what things would you say? What things would you ask?
Whoa! That's bringing tears to my eyes. I can
switch questions.
I would thank my mother for being the woman that she was. She was amazing. And I thought she was wrong and made the wrong choices, and I definitely had my judgments about her, but in the end, wow. She lived her life exactly the way she wanted to, and it was perfect. And she listened to herself. She honored herself, even with me starting at 16, telling her how she was doing it wrong. And I was with her until the moment she died, and that was a real honor. And I would just say to her, thank you, and check out what I'm doing. I'm having a blast, and you were a really wonderful example.
That's awesome. Judy Davis says the tech guy is pretty cute, which is funny. Thanks, Judy. I appreciate that.
You got to have somebody flirting with you, dude.
Yeah. So Nina says, I so enjoyed meeting you and Bruce at the Boom Gathering at Union Square in San Francisco. You make such a wonderful couple. How did you two meet?
Oh, Nina, yay! Thank you. Bruce and I actually passed each other by at a wedding, and I didn't even remember it until after we met and started talking about the wedding. But there was a mutual friend of ours that I didn't know was a mutual friend who had gotten the wedding couple together, and apparently he had gotten 12 other couples together as well. So I told him I want to put in an order. And I put in an order for a summer romance, not a long-term relationship. And I walked away from him, and he turned to his wife, and he said, I think she's ordering short and wants more. And then he walked right up to Bruce and said, see that lady over there? And that's how it began. But I didn't actually meet Bruce face-to-face and interact with him until an evening came along. There was an event that I was helping with, and Bill, the matchmaker, brought him there to meet me to see what would happen. And there was enough of a spark for me to organize a brunch where he lived in Philadelphia. I was living 2 hours away in Yonkers, New York. And I wanted to see him again and get to know him, and that's really when the romance began. And that was 7 years ago. Thanks for asking. That was really fun to tell.
It was beautiful. Gayla says, it's been great having women approach me asking me how I had the nerve to do it, grow out my gray hair. They all want to do it, but they just don't dare. I give many women my testimony of how I did it. It took 2 years, and I'm so glad I did. You were the one who helped me realize that I can be beautiful with silver hair. I lived several months traveling in a motorhome, and it was not easy dyeing my hair in the RV. Thank you so much.
I could imagine. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I want to share that I heard 3 women last week when we had the gathering at Kelly's place in San Jose, and each one of them said that they had my picture on their refrigerator. So these three women are sitting there telling me that my picture is on their refrigerator and that they've been there for about 2 years, and that inspired them to grow their silver hair out. It is scary. I acknowledge that, and I am not telling any woman that you need to, have your silver hair show, that you shouldn't dye your hair, or you shouldn't do anything else that has you feel good about yourself, your physicality, how you present yourself to the world. The one thing I ask is consider what is motivating you. Are you being motivated by fun or fear? And if you want to cut your hair in a mohawk and make it 20 different colors, and you are inspired to do it out of fun, no matter what you do, if you have a silver bun or you've got, some crazy platinum blonde hair, you're going to be attractive because you're enjoying yourself. However, consider this. If you're being motivated by fear and desperation to try to be someone you're not, no matter what you do, no matter how perfect the hair color is, the outfit you have on, the jewelry, etc., you're going to fall short of your goal. Because what makes a woman attractive is how much joy she's taking in her life, how much pleasure she's experiencing in living her life. And I know that each of you know this because you can see it. And when you recognize that in another woman, you may notice the haircut, the hairstyle, the heels, whatever it is, but watch her. Watch how she moves. And then maybe you know this person, and you see her on that day where her hair is greasy and nothing's, right according to the physicality standards that we're given. But she's still attractive. What is that? And what about yourself? That day you're really excited about that dinner party or whatever it is that you're excited about, and you're running around out in public getting things together for whatever you're doing, and you haven't, your roots are showing, let's see, you forgot to pluck that chin hair out or those eyebrow hairs, and you're really thinking, you hope you don't bump into anybody you know. And you do. And the first thing they say is, what? Did you fall in love? Or did you just come back from vacation? Or did you lose weight? Or did you gain weight? You look amazing. And it's because you're having so much fun. That's really what it is. It's really what it is. And if you're having fun making your hair the color it was when you were 25, and it just makes you feel good to primp and do those things, right on for you. Honor yourself. That's all I'm saying.
So good. Cindy, you're so right. The past 3 years have been an eye-opener for me. I'm starting with Boom, and it's like walking through a portal to an exciting new adventure.
Oh. Music to my ears, baby. Music to my ears.
Okay,
all of you out there who are wavering, who are not sure about this line, which way to go, listen to her. Listen to all of us who went through the portal. We're on the other side. We will put our hands out and grab yours and pull you through. We can do this together, and that's what the pro-age revolution is all about. It's about women coming together. It's about groups of women. Here's a group, here's a group. When each group gets big enough, we're going to connect and start overlapping. And some of you know that if you are willing to do the work to create a pro-age gathering in your hometown, to host it in your home, out on the street, however you want to do it. It can be all about the pro-age revolution and nothing about Boom products, or it can be all about Boom products and a little bit about the pro-age revolution. I will come to you, and I will bring t-shirts, and I will bring all my enthusiasm and all my speeches and ramblings about this, and you can make it happen in your hometown. So the whole idea is if it happens in all different states in America, we are, it's a grassroots movement is basically what's happening. And I can't do it alone. Got to do it with you. I'm so glad you're here today. Okay, next question.
Got a bit of a couple heavy ones for you.
Okay.
Kim says, Cindy, do you think you would be saying these same things if you didn't have love in your life?
No. I think that I wouldn't be saying these same things if I wasn't loving in my life. It's not about getting love. It's about giving love. We all have it. And it's a myth that we don't have love. It's birthed in us. It's a decision that you make to love or not to love. That's been my experience. Oh, a really good example of that. When you were in grade school, did you ever fall in love with somebody? Somebody in your class, somebody sitting in front of you or behind you, or the kid in the next class? Like really fell in love, where you're writing their name on all your books and going home and just feeling giddy and excited to see them the next day. And that goes on for weeks. And they don't have a clue you exist. They have never interacted with you in any way, shape, or form. The joy, the excitement was in loving them, falling in love with them. And then one day, that kid is mean to you. For some reason, you know, the classic thing is pulls your ponytail. And it's over and you can't stand him. Or her, whoever you fell in love with, or that teacher maybe, and your love stops, and you're miserable, you're sick to your stomach, you don't want to do anything, you don't want to eat your dinner, your parents can't figure out why you're so cranky. It's because you stopped loving that other person.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You're getting significant amounts of people in support of what you're saying in the chat group. Now, thank you, Cindy, for giving women a forum where we can hear a real woman talking about real things. I have been single for 12 years, and I love it, and I love my life. If you're not a loving person, you would not give love to anyone else. You don't. You are so right. It's a decision to love. This is so true, Patty says. Just look at your baby pictures.
Right on, Patty. I love you. Okay, so that reminds me. That whole thing about being single. So many of us, men and women, are led to believe that we are not whole or complete unless we have a significant other. Either they're on our arm or we're on their arm. That the true depth of life comes from being in a couple, straight or gay. It's a really fun thing to do, to be in a couple. I'm going to wed on November 16th. However, when you're single, which you're always single, you're single when you're in a marriage or in a relationship. And every single person you relate with, you are in a relationship with. Some relationships are more intimate than others. Some relationships are just more in the category of fun, others more in the category of work, etc., etc. However, there's this belief that if you're single, the definition of single is temporary state between relationships. And that became so clear to me. I was single in that way, without a partner, for 4 years. And I remember I was making up a model in a photo studio, and the first thing she asked me is, "So, have you met somebody?" And I was so tired of that question. It's like, I'm really loving being single, and I'm not looking for anybody. I'm like, this is great. So I decided to tell her yes, I had met somebody. Long story short, I told her it was a woman. I'd known her my whole life. We go to movies together. We stay home and watch TV together. We read. We write books. we are in deep conversation, and that person is Cindy Joseph, me. Like, hello, I'm in a relationship with myself, and I actually bought myself a wedding ring and wore it for a very long time. And Bruce knows this. He happens to be sitting right here. Bruce knows that my life was complete before he met me, that I was whole and perfect and loving the adventures and everything in life, and that he is an add-on to an already great life. And later he told me, he said, that's really attractive, being with somebody who's loving their life. So anybody out there who's feeling a little sad about being single, my suggestion is go keep somebody company. Anybody, anywhere, and experience the joy of healing their loneliness and getting them to realize that they're whole and complete themselves. And just start. The first place to start is with appreciation and gratitude for what you have. Acknowledge everything you have, even if it's one single thing. I have a foot. And what happens is it grows. Not the foot, but the appreciation. And you'll start noticing more and more things in your life that are good that you have right now. You have a body, you have a mind, you have eyes, you can feel, you can see, you can experience confusion and anger and frustration, and you can experience joy and elation and compassion. Everything you have right now, you have. So you start feeling that abundance, then you feel less scarce, less needy, less clingy, which is not always the most attractive thing. Woo! I'm going off on a whole tangent here. Okay, let's do another question.
All right. Well, you're getting good feedback on that. You've got, gosh, they're coming in so quick. Wow, that's so cool, Cindy. I think that's the only way you can. Cindy and Bruce, I think you are both so much fun. I love that you gave yourself a wedding ring, and I love that you love yourself and the adventures that you have with yourself, and that Bruce is an add-on to an already good life. And Anna says, I love this, so true. The best woman I've ever known is me. Veggie Girl says, what a great way to look at things. E says, yes, I'm grateful for everything in my life. So you're getting a lot of good feedback.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right. So
it's a gratitude fest.
okay, one more skeptical one, and then we'll go into some lighter ones. This is from KDC, and she says, honestly, how long ago were your promotional pictures taken, such as the one on this page?
Oh, good question. And somebody that met me in person said, you know what, it's time to update that picture. And I would say that photo is probably, could be almost 4 years ago. I am very happy to take a picture of myself now and put it up in place of it. Technical reasons. We changed URLs with our website. We're always trying, we came out with Boom Touch. I'm trying to get together creating mini boomsticks, little teeny ones, so you can just pop them in your pocket, give them to your friends, use them as stocking stuffers, whatever. There were a lot of requests for mini boomsticks. There's so much going on, and time has gone by so fast. Actually, it's got to be less than 3 years ago, because the business just started its 4th year, which we're only a couple months into. The 4th year started in July. So it's not that old. But hey, let's vote. Is it time for a new picture?
Some people are saying no. You look beautiful.
Well, okay. Maybe I should just use it until I'm 80, and then I'll do a picture of myself when I'm 80. That could be kind of fun. We'll do before and after.
An interesting comment from an anonymous source says, what is worse than being married for 42 years and not being in love? At age 61, wanting to get a divorce is really scary, but if I don't do it now, it's going to be too late. Gray hair and all, I think I can do it.
Well, you just answered your question right there. I think I can do it. Of course you can. Intention. What is your intention? You have been living with somebody, maybe, I don't know if you've been living with them, but you've been married to somebody for all these years. First off, that person has got to have some redeeming qualities, or you wouldn't have spent all that time with them. And you are a different person now than you were all those years ago. So you've been doing it perfect all along. Every decision you've made along the way is exactly right. And when you're contemplating changing something, you got to think about it, you got to analyze it, and go through all that stuff, and then you get to the point where, okay, it's time. So it's the wisdom of enoughness, and it sounds like you've hit that point.
We've got a lot of people who are saying, I can relate to that, and it's sad that you're not loving your marriage. You know, what do you have to lose? We've got just a lot of feedback coming in for that anonymous source. So you have support in this community, which is very cool.
Yes, absolutely. Are there anybody out there challenging me who just thinks what I'm saying is a bunch of bull, who's confused, who, you know, sometimes I get responses from people like, well, of course you can do it because you're a model, or you can do it because you were, you know, privileged in some way. And actually, I'm pretty much an average Jane. I was born in suburbia to middle-class family. I was very insecure when I was a teenager. The reason I became a makeup artist is because I wouldn't let anybody see me without makeup for 2 years of high school. I wore not one but 2 pair of fake eyelashes, foundation, eyebrow, the whole ball of wax. I put on a mask every day. I thought my forehead was too big, so I cut bangs. Somebody told me I had man hands, so I sat on my hands, and I was just an insecure mess. And it's taken a lot of years to come to this point. And when I started modeling at 50, it was pretty interesting because 50-year-old models don't get paid as much as the 18-year-old models. And I used to say to my agent, I should be getting paid more because I've been around longer. Really interesting, right?
It's liberating to listen to Cindy and be a part of a revolution online. I sell myself short many times. Cindy reminds me that I have a wealth of experience. That's from Karen. And then Kim says, I think that's why some people have affairs. They don't get the intimacy with their spouses, and they need human touch. And Elizabeth says, no, I think ProAge is for everyone, and everyone needs to know that life does get better. Your message's time has come. Sarah's here. Sarah Baldwin says, hi, Cindy and Ezra. I just got here.
Sarah, hi, baby.
Hi, Sarah. And Katie, who asked the question about when your pictures were taken, says, thank you so much for your response. 3 to 4 years is current, and you look great. Donna says, I think it's awesome that you expose yourself on video every week. Thank you for that. It really inspires me. I never miss your videos.
Aww.
We've got
awesome.
a lot of positive comments coming in. But why don't we go to something a little bit lighter, because we've been on some heavy subjects.
Okay, Ezra, I'm just curious. How many women are out there? How many people? Are there any guys out there? Are any women under 30 out there? I'm just kind of curious.
Well, right now, live on our page is 175 people. We started with around 400, and that's average when you're doing an hour-long presentation. You start with about, you know, a couple hundred, and about half of the folks stick through.
Okay.
Now, here's a question from Sarah. Did anyone here feel attractive and confident when we were young?
Oh, my God, that's such a great question. That's what I was just talking about. I was a mess. I was a mess. And that's why I say when you look at pictures of yourself 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or you think about not visually what you look like, but what you were doing. You know, I ran those relays and won every one of them. But I shouldn't say we. I was an insecure mess. I didn't think I talked right, walked right, did anything right. And my parents were great. They were supportive and fine, but I don't know if it's societal. I don't know if it's just the human condition. We do all experience doubt. And I was going to say, I'm talking a big talk now. Yeah, GoPro age, and I feel great about my age. I have insecure moments. I have those days where I look in the mirror and just go, oh my goodness. When did that happen? Actually, I didn't even notice I was getting older looking until I started modeling. And I would look at these pictures and it'd be like, oh my God, I really am an older woman, aren't I? But I'm going kind of back to looks. But, you know, personality, confidence, skills of any kind. Yeah, but doubt, I think we want to live with doubt. We don't want to live without it. Doubt is a part of the human experience. And if you don't have doubt, you don't get to experience any glory. Right? You doubt you can make it, you doubt you can do it, and then you work hard and you work towards it, and then you succeed, and it's like, wow, all that glory. And if you didn't doubt it, if you just knew you were going to make it, you wouldn't feel so accomplished. So it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff.
We've got comments and questions coming in by the second, so I don't think we're going to be able to get to all of them. But the good news is that we now know that this is a winner. This is people that you like these live sessions. So we'll do more of them. Cindy, I'm going to put the survey up on the page.
Okay.
And
so this is the deal. Yeah. I'm going to explain this.
They have to refresh the page, though.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to let him tell you the technical stuff. But so I would love to hear from you if you want to do this again. This was kind of a test run to get a sense and a read to see if this is something that's really fun for everybody, for all of us, and we will do it again. We're actually thinking about doing a series of some kind. So we want to hear from you. Please take the survey. Ezra's going to put it up. He'll tell you what to do.
You've got to refresh this page, so you just go ahead and click Command R if you're on a Mac, or refresh if you're on a PC, and what will happen is you'll have to click the play button again on the video to get the video back live, but above the video and below the video you will see a pink button that says click here to take a short survey, and that's the survey that we want you to take.
That would be great. That would be really, really great, because if you're all up for it, we will do this again. And I want to hear from all of you. That would be wonderful. So, man, that went by fast.
Yeah, that hour went by really quickly, and the questions are just amazing. Thank you so much, everyone who posted in the chat box. There's well over 500 posts in the chat box now.
Wow. Well, I'm going to read as many as I can, and any questions that I didn't answer here, I will address on our first webinar series.
Okay, thank you so much, and we will catch up with you on the next Saturday with Cindy.